The idea that we control the dragons is an illusion. They're a power man should never have trifled with. One that brought Valyria its doom. If we don't mind our own histories, it will do the same to us.
I've been telling people, Viserys has been dropping truth bombs since the series began. The dragons are not being controlled by their riders. They form a bond with a rider. They may go along with the commands that their rider gives them, but the dragons themselves can do whatever the fuck they want when they want to do it. Now, we see that the relationship between the dragon and the dragon rider is a lot deeper than we initially thought it was. For instance, when Rhaenyra is giving birth, Syrax is screaming to match Rhaenyra screaming from the pain and agony of childbirth. When Daemon's out on the battlefield and he takes the arrow to his shoulder, Caraxes roars because he feels the pain that Daemon felt. When Laena is giving birth, Vhagar doesn't give a shit. Vhagar is outside sleeping. No reaction to what Laena is going through in any way, shape, or form. Caraxes, Vhagar only reacts when Laena approaches her and wakes her up, and then she hears the command, disobeys it, and goes no. Then she feels what Laena is feeling and realizes that burning her alive is more of a mercy than anything else, and then she chooses to follow through with the Dracarys. Now, a lot of people are going to complain, but the bond! Before House of the Dragon, we've seen dragons not listen to the people that were supposed to be able to control them. For instance, Daenerys Targaryen, she's probably one of the first people in the entirety of George R.R. Martin's work that was able to bond with 3 dragons. She had Drogon, Rhaegal, and Vhagar? Vhagar. No. What was the other one? The other one was named after Viserys, right? Viserion, right. The one that died north of the wall. And we see, I forgot what season that was, that first she lost control of Drogon, where Drogon just took off and fucked off, and he left for an entire season where he was just living in old Valyria doing whatever the hell he wanted. But then, as the season continued, we saw her lose control of both Rhaegal and Viserion. We gotta figure out the name of that dragon. I've pointed out multiple times before, I absolutely hate Targaryen, and by extension, George R.R. Martin's naming conventions for Targaryen dragons and then Targaryen themselves in this series. But she loses control of both of those dragons. They lash out at her at Meereen, and she's forced to lock them away in the city's catacombs, away from the civilians, because they're that big of a danger. Now, looking at George R.R. Martin's other work in the form of the books, I believe it's also in Fire and Blood, talking about how Balerion the Black Dread bonded with a new bond and took her away to old Valyria, where she couldn't survive, where they were there for like weeks or months, and then that ended up killing her. And then he returns with a woman who looks nothing like the beautiful princess that left on his back, and who's basically like a shriveled corpse 1 second away from death. So these dragons, as Viserys essentially points out, they are nuclear weapons. The illusion that the dragon riders can control them is just that, a big ass fucking illusion. Now, there are also things that happen during the situation between Aemon and Luke that basically leads to Luke's death. Number 1, Vhagar is a she-war dragon. She's been alive for practically 200 years. On top of being alive for 200 years, she has been through every major conflict the Targaryens have ever went up with. She escaped the doom of Valyria. She conquered all of Westeros. She scorched Dorne for like an entire month with Aegon and Balerion by her side. She lived through Maegor the Cruel and everything that he was up to when he was absolutely wiping out entire houses. So this is a very old and prideful dragon. And dragons are prideful creatures. Not only in George R.R. Martin's work, but in any other type of lore where you've ever encountered dragons, dragons are extremely prideful. Arrax, Luke's dragon is a young dragon. He's literally the size of like Vhagar's left foot. For that young dragon to attack Vhagar, even if it was out of fear and desperation, because along with being extremely prideful, dragons are predators. So for a smaller dragon that lives on Dragonstone, where the cannibal exists who eats other dragons, to be hunted by Vhagar, even if in Aemon's perspective he was playing and he only meant to scare Luke, that emotion that Aemon's feeling of wanting to scare Luke, that transfers over to Vhagar trying to scare Arrax. What happens? The dragon becomes scared, it lashes out, it bathes Vhagar's face in dragon fire. I said it in the main review, the instant it attacked Vhagar, the situation completely changed. Because now, you struck me, and I'm way older than you. I'm your senior, young blood. So Vhagar did what she was gonna do. She established dominance. And the equivalent of a dragon establishing dominance is that they fucking kill you. And she came out of those clouds and she absolutely devoured both Luke and his dragon to rectify the disrespect that she just received. And I like that. I like the fact that the dragons aren't just mounts. They aren't just something that the Targaryens can hop on, instantaneously control, and take off on. They are nuclear weapons. They are flying nuclear weapons that can reduce entire cities to cinder. So bravo to House of the Dragon for showing that aspect, because for some reason people were getting pissed off. They're like, but the Targaryens are supposed to have complete and total control. And I'm like, the main series dealt with this already. We saw Daenerys lose control of her dragons. This is a situation that can happen between the dragon and the dragon bond. It's nothing new. Like, multiple mistakes happened here. Aemon thinking that he had full control, Arrax attacking Vhagar, Aemon trying to regain control, Luke going into the sky instead of sticking extremely low to the water, where he'd probably been able to escape because of the storm. Multiple mistakes. But once Vhagar was disrespected in the sky, she had no other recourse but to eat that fucking dragon that just disrespected her, because she's literally the oldest and biggest dragon alive at the moment. And to be quite honest, watching that little dragon fight happen above Storm's End, I cannot fucking wait for the showdown that we're all waiting for, which is Vhagar versus Caraxes, because I know that that fight is going to be dope as shit. But if you make it to the end of this video, thank you very much. Comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.